So we completed some of our first lighting projects using Western norms for road or public lighting. See, we even copied some European poles with the single pole and multiple head projectors. It's very stylish in Europe. And our clients were not very satisfied with the results. These were their comments. It's too dark, looks haunted. The lighting color is too yellow. The marketing guys are not too happy because they're not able to light up their banners or signages well enough with this level of light. It's too dim. It looks sad. They feel threatened. So these were the comments that we've received. And obviously, we had to go back to the drawing board and rethink again a good intersection between international lighting standards and what our clients would be happy with. Good morning, everyone. I have grown up in this lighting industry, getting inspiration from dimmer lighting schemes from the West. So attending conferences and conventions, the concepts about relating to dark sky and keeping our street lighting minimal, avoiding light pollution, using warm color temperatures for street and facade lighting were all very inspiring and impressive. And I wanted to bring home this school of thought in the Philippines and apply it to our projects. So I looked to our local lighting standards, and at that time when we started getting work in 2013, 2014 with lighting master plan projects, I looked to the local lighting standard and I felt that it was not comprehensive enough for me to do a job that I was satisfied with. So I found American and European standards and I was happy, very complete, comprehensive. We had to pick a road classification, and based on that road classification, we just tick the boxes, input it in dialogues, and everything would be okay. And that's what we thought, right? And so we completed some of our first lighting projects using Western norms for road or public lighting. See, we even copied some European poles with the single pole and multiple head projectors. It's very stylish in Europe. And our clients were not very satisfied with the results. These were their comments. It's too dark, looks haunted. The lighting color is too yellow. The marketing guys are not too happy because they're not able to light up their banners or signages well enough with this level of light. It's too dim. It looks sad. They feel threatened. So these were the comments that we've received. And obviously, we had to go back to the drawing board and rethink again a good intersection between international lighting standards and what our clients would be happy with. So we thought about the stuff that we were using, and you can see here in the first column that in the Philippine lighting standards, these are the illumination levels in candela per square meter. So in the first column, I just want to highlight that we don't get to use actually the lighting levels for the collector and minor road because these just feel too dim. And if you can also observe, the Philippine lighting standards are actually based on American lighting standards, which is the IESNA. And even if we've picked up the higher threshold of these lighting level standards based on mock-ups and what you get in the visuals, they're still not satisfied with the higher threshold of IESNA. So we moved on to BSEN, which was brighter, yes, you can see. But then again, in actual projects, we don't really get to use M4, M5, M6, which are collector or minor road classifications because this just feels too dim. So in our experience and what we've observed, the client is usually happy with about 1.5 to 2 candela per square meter. That's quite bright, actually. And even so, observing the projects that we've done over the years, we've slowly but surely increased illumination levels in our projects. So you can see in the beginning, we've adhered to M4 standards, which is for collector roads. We've applied 0.7 candela. And then slowly, through mock-ups, through tests, this is what our clients like. And you can see the last column, 26th Street BGC. 4 candela per square meter is really a lot of light for road and public lighting. You can just imagine how bright the intersections and the conflict zones are in this case. But again, they wanted something energetic and bright. So this is what we went with. Well, not all preferred super bright lighting. As you can see, Makati City, Masaya, and Magsingal, projects that we did, also adhered to what was per the norm. So why do we like it bright? And why do others don't like it bright? And I can speak for the Philippines. The primary reason, I think, is more simple than what we think it is. It's the high crime rate index that we have in the country. Theft is the number one reason, or the number one top crime. Second is rape, and the third is physical injury. And we all know that bright lighting deters crime. And so for us, when I stroll along the streets of, let's say, Europe and Germany, I would like to stroll in a small street with dim lighting, with nice facade lighting. But in the Philippines, that's not the case. We are averse to dark streets. We get threatened. Don't go into the dark street because something bad might happen to you. So I think that is the primary reason why we do like it bright. Second is our culture. The Filipinos are very happy, festive, and warm people. And I think this also shows in our build preference for facade lighting buildings. A lot of our clients prefer to have RGB colors over white light. White light is usually for luxury projects, and I think this really reflects also and speaks about the lighting preference of the Philippines. The third point is called horror vacui. It's actually used more in interior design. It's the fear of empty spaces. So you can see it very common in normal homes in Manila where the interiors are filled up. There's no negative space or blank space. People are also averse towards shadows, so I think the preference for more uniform and bright lighting is related to this horror vacui. The fourth point is about progress. So I know that now developed countries are gearing towards cutting back on energy consumption, cutting back light levels, preferring to have darker spaces. But in a developing country like ours in the Philippines, we're still thinking about bright is equal to progress. So it's a sign of things are moving. There's prosperity. And I think that's the fourth point. And the fifth one is that we are used to long hours of daylight. Our climate is such. And this also relates to why we prefer bright spaces. And the last reason is budget. A lot of the products we have in the local market are bright. So high lumen output, bright. But they don't really regard or prioritize things like good optical control, color quality, glare. A lot of the times when we have mock-ups, as long as it's bright, then it's okay. But we do also like dim spaces, and we can also design dim spaces. We just don't design everything in a bright way. So I think we're in new developments where we have the opportunity to design from scratch and to dictate light levels to gradually increase as the master plan expands in a matter of 25 or 50 years, then dimmer lighting levels are recommended. Of course, resorts, obviously, and the luxury market are places where dim lighting are welcome. And interior lighting, actually, in interior lighting, it's more accepted to have dimmer lighting schemes than the public or road lighting. But again, the client would always say, we want something flexible. We want it to be dim when we want to, and at times we want it very, very bright, then we want that flexibility. So just to share a few projects with you guys. This is a town up north, a Spanish colonial town, and the problem was that there were many accidents happening in this area. And the mayor wanted us to do the proper lighting. So we applied the right standards, and he wanted a very warm color to accentuate the old feel of the Spanish colonial town. And after that, the people felt secure and safe to go out. The accidents decreased. Actually, it didn't happen anymore. And something as simple as that, could be very powerful for the people. Bridgetown is a development with many parks within its development. And the reason for that is that the developer wanted to encourage the people to move and exercise. So we thought, okay, perfect. The Philippines is actually a very hot country. So when you guys go there, a lot of the people are always staying away from the sun. We have umbrellas, we slather on a lot of sunblock. And even in the buildings that are designed with the highest end glazing, with low E, people have their shades down and they don't want the light. So what does that mean? They usually do their physical activities and exercise at night. And we wanted to have, or to maximize this opportunity, to design a good lighting scheme where people will feel like they will be encouraged to go out and exercise and get healthier at night. So that's why, hence, the bright light levels as well. These next projects are more building or public lighting. And I think you can see the context around it. This project is situated in a very humble and kind of poor neighborhood in Manila. And the client is actually it's a school. They wanted to do something for that neighborhood to uplift it and to make the residents feel safer and more secure. So he said he wanted to do something with lighting. So it was so random, out of nowhere, in this very low-key neighborhood that you have this type of facade lighting. But it actually worked because the kids started to go out and play at night. The mothers with their babies come out to socialize. And so even Christmas events, they would have tree lighting here. So they made it like a stage or the center of that simple neighborhood. And that expanded to the next project. As you can see there, it's really a full-on market right in front. And an airport that we did also gave a lot of national pride. And this retail lighting is actually an interesting story because when we did the lighting scheme, the original design was so far. We had designed something dramatic, dimmer, dynamic, but in the end, with budget constraints, we had this up and down linear lighting that was just uniformly lit. So I was like, okay. But then when it was finished, a lot of people were saying like, wow, that's such a nice project, great. So I was like, oh, really, okay. And this goes to show that we really are, we really get attracted or drawn to bright spaces. So I think that light for health and well-being and public lighting doesn't have a universal approach. Designing a space where people are comfortable, feel safe in, it depends on culture, environment, climate, technology, peace and order, to name a few. 0.7 candela is okay for me, might not be okay for the next person. So as we continue to develop our own lighting culture, preference, and standards in the Philippines, I will still continue to look into Western concepts and approach for public lighting. We are lucky to have access to comprehensive and well-researched international norms and standards, but we need to understand the lighting culture in a country to be able to strike the right balance. Thank you.